Thank you. Thank you, sir. Father, we're grateful tonight to be able to be here. We praise your name for all those good and perfect gifts that come from you. We ask a special blessing this evening on these folks that are on the platform in front of us. We're thankful for their leadership. We're thankful for the work that they put in. We pray that you would be with them in the hours they spend away from their family, in their time of study, in their time of research, to gain that knowledge to properly run our city. And we pray for their wisdom as they put that knowledge to work so that Cape Girardeau will remain a great place to live, work, raise a family. We're thankful for the hours that they put in for them. And we lift this prayer of thanksgiving and praises up to you in the mighty name of Jesus, in whom we believe. Amen.
Call to order this session of the Cape Girardeau City Council. This is our September 5th, 2017 meeting. Thank you all for being present. Roll call, please.
Danny Esner.
Present.
Robbie Guard.
Here.
Victor Gunn.
Here.
Shelley Moore is absent. Harry Rediger.
Here.
Joseph Zerro.
Here. Here.
Bob Fox.
I will make mention that we excused Councilman Moore to attend another meeting in town that conflicted. We usually meet on Monday evening, but this month, because of the holiday, we met on Tuesday evenings. That meeting fell on tonight, and we as a council excused her to attend that meeting and represent us at that meeting. Motion to adopt the agenda, Council.
So moved.
By Gunn, seconded by Guard. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. We have 3 presentations this evening. Let's see what order they come. Hang on a minute. The purple shirts. Come on down. Alzheimer's. You on this side? Thank you all for being here. This occasion to make a proclamation for the walk to in Alzheimer's Day. Whereas Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, and the only cause of death among the top 10 in the country that cannot be prevented, cured, or even slowed. Whereas Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia are a public health crisis, causing hardship and heartbreak to a great many people, to families, to caregivers, and to communities, including the city of Cape Girardeau and the Southeast Missouri area. Whereas 5.4 million Americans, 2/3 of who are women, are now living with Alzheimer's disease, with 1 additional person diagnosed every 66 seconds. And whereas in 2017, Alzheimer's and other dementias will cost the nation $234 billion, which is expected to rise as much as $1.1 trillion by 2050. Whereas the Alzheimer's Association is the world's leader in Alzheimer's care, support, and research, whose efforts, diagnostic tools are becoming more accurate, treatments more effective, and a cure even more promising. And whereas the Alzheimer's Association is encouraging our residents to participate in the 2017 Walk to End Alzheimer's, to be held on Saturday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Cape County Park North. By starting a team, joining a team, volunteering, or donating at www.alz.org, STL, and whereas the City Council of Cape Girardeau wishes to show its support for the goals and work of the Alzheimer's Association by encouraging learning about Alzheimer's and taking action to end Alzheimer's. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Harry Rediger, Mayor of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, do hereby proclaim Saturday, September 16th, 2017, as the 2017 Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's Day in witness thereof. And I know that people that are standing here with me have personally experienced this disease and are very dedicated in their efforts to end it. So thank you for being here, and I'll award this, and we'll do a little picture. Any comments from anybody, Gail, or anything?
I'm never short of words. I just want to thank the council for supporting our walk. This is the 5th year I've done it. This is Greg Shudo. He's with the Greater Missouri chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. And this is Blaine and Morgan Swinford. They run the team Dutchman's Dash, and they do a fundraiser every year. And this is my mother, Marilyn Religer, and my daughter, Rachel. We're Eddie's Dream Team. And we've been doing this for about 5 years. And we are here. Our goal is to see in our lifetime a survivor from Alzheimer's. And that's our goal. And I'm doing it for my dad, and I do it for my children because I don't want them to see them go through this. So we encourage everyone to come walk with us. Just support us, pray for us.
Thank you all for being here. Operation Christmas Child Fund. Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you? Good to see you. Yes.
How are you? You probably want a selfie, don't you?
We'll have to take it.
Okay. Thank you all for being here. This has to do with Operation Christmas Child Month, and we have some props here. So that'll be great. Why don't y'all just introduce yourselves before we go?
I'm Jessie Reuter-Jens. I'm the drop-off location team leader for Operation Christmas Child in Cape Girardeau.
Okay.
I'm Rick Bronesty, volunteer.
I'm Crystal Bronesty, Community Relations for Operation Christmas Child.
Susie Wallingford.
Wayne Wallingford, State Senator.
Derek Charles with SEMO Media, and we're supporters.
Paige Sides with SEMO Media.
Thank you all for being here. And now the proclamation. Whereas Operation Christmas Child is a nonprofit organization of Samaritan's Purse that collects gift-filled props here and delivers them to children living in desperate situations around the world. And whereas since 1993, Operation Christmas Child has collected and given more than 146 million shoeboxes to children in more than 160 countries and territories. And whereas in 2016, nearly 11.5 million shoeboxes were collected worldwide, with more than 9.1 million collected in the United States. And whereas nearly 500,000 volunteers, 150,000 of which are in the United States, truly make Operation Christmas Child effective. Whereas in 2016, Southeast Missouri collected over 16,000 shoeboxes. Each year, we plan to increase that number. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Harry Rediger, Mayor of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, do hereby proclaim the month of September as Operation Christmas Child Month, and encourage all citizens to support the efforts of this group so that it may continue to help communities all over the world in times of need and witness thereof. So present it, and thank you all for your efforts as you move forward. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. National preparedness. I see Jim Watkins out here. Chief Ennis. Mr. Sir. Chief. National preparedness, how well we know those words over the last days, months, years. And looks like another one coming soon. And we never know when it'll be here. We never know when it is going to be anywhere. But be prepared. We will have a report by our city manager and soon about how we helped down south during Hurricane Harvey. Locally, we helped. So national preparedness, and I'll read this proclamation. Whereas National Preparedness Month with the theme, Disasters Don't Plan Ahead, You Can, creates an important opportunity for all residents to prepare their homes, businesses, and communities for any type of emergency, including natural disasters and potential terrorist attack. And whereas investing in the preparedness of ourselves, our families, businesses, and communities can reduce fatalities and economic devastation in our communities and in our nation. And whereas the Federal Emergency Management Agency's READY campaign, Citizen Corps, the City of Cape Girardeau, and numerous other agencies are working to increase public activities in preparing for emergencies and to educate individuals on how to take action. And whereas emergency preparedness is the responsibility of every citizen, and all citizens are urged to make preparedness a priority and work together as a team to ensure that individuals, families, and communities are prepared for disasters and emergencies of any type. And whereas all citizens of Cape Girardeau are encouraged to participate in citizen preparedness activities such as our Community Emergency Response Team, CERT program, and asked to visit the websites of the READY campaign at ready.gov to educate themselves, take more active roles in their communities, and become more prepared. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Harry Rediger, Mayor of the City of Cape Girardeau, do hereby declare September 2017 as National Preparedness Month and encourage all citizens and businesses to develop their own emergency preparedness plan and work together toward creating a more prepared society and witness thereof this 5th day. So, to you, Jim. And words from each of you.
I just want to thank the city, the mayor, and Chief Ennis, the fire department, for supporting CERT program the way it is. And we're there. We do free training, and I apologize for misspelling the how to register in the handouts. An extra E in that, but sometimes those things happen. So
Absolutely.
Darn.
Jim's our regional CERT trainer and all things emergency preparedness, a retired school principal here from Cape. He just does an endless amount of work for emergency preparedness. And just to show that he practices what he preaches and always ready for an emergency, I got a little sidetracked and forgot about tonight and called him 2 hours ago and said, hey, Jim, I need you at the council meeting. And here he is.
It's an emergency, right?
Always prepared.
It's an emergency. Very good. Jim, thank you for all you do, and to Chief for all you do.
Thank you.
Okay, communications and reports, and I have one. We had a visit and a call from the American Duchess riverboat on August 26th here in town. It was their inaugural call, their maiden voyage from New Orleans coming up the Mississippi River. And in touring that boat, in a short program in their showroom, they presented to our city this plate from American Queen Steamboat Company to Cape Girardeau, Missouri, in recognition of the inaugural call of the American Duchess, August 26th, 2017. I know the president of American Queen Steamboat Company. In fact, I'll probably see him next week. But he is so enthused about Cape Girardeau, so enthused about all the requests or the comments that they receive back about our city when they tour here on any of their vessels. And those are good words to hear about our city. And very proud to have received this, and I want to pass it on to the city for a memorabilia, and I'll give it to Scott Meyer.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, we gotta have picture. Don't want to forget the picture. Yeah. Other communications from council? That's the only one I have this evening.
I've got a couple, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Last week, we had our Keep Cape Beautiful meeting, and I'm happy to report that for the second year in a row, the trash index levels are down again in Cape Girardeau. So that's always good. And years ago, we had the beautification committee through the chamber, and that's now part of the Keep Cape Beautiful. And I'm really pleased that those numbers keep getting better. So that was one. So thank you, Julia, for all you do on that committee. Secondly, I want to thank Chief Ennis. I kind of tried to start in the spring and do a summer tour. I call it my summer tour, and I got to ride around with Chief Ennis and take tours of 1, 2, and 4, and the new 4. And I'm just really proud of the facilities that we have, the renovations to 1, the renovations to 2, what 4 will be, and to have something that we won't have to retrofit bunks for firemen. Having a newer training facility at 4, having workout facilities in each of those. He didn't say it this way, but you know, Chief Ennis doesn't want couch potatoes as firemen. And so they're working out during the day and having a good facility where they're not leaving the station to go work out. I was just really impressed. And if I might add to the type of person Chief Ennis is, the way I am, I really applaud his candor, answering tough questions. And as council members, sometimes, you know, we ask tough questions or we get put in tough spots, but he's not afraid to answer those questions. And whether we'll be able to fix a problem or not, it's our job to be able to listen, for sure. So I just want to say thank you, Chief Ennis, for that. And then also, Steve Cook's gone, but a couple weeks before that, I did my tour of the drinking water facility. Steve Cook and Kevin Priester and Molly, we went down and looked at the wells. Geographically, as far as our water, we're fortunate for where we're at with the wells. We have phenomenal water. And then to think that we pump it 6 miles up to the water treatment facility up by near Cape Rock. And I really, every time I get an opportunity to be around Steve Cook and Kevin, you realize that, man, we have some great assets in those two, and really applaud the job that Steve Cook does. Another example of updates to facilities that we've been able to pass in the city, much like the fire station. So anyway, just want to give an update on that. And I urge each of you guys, Shelley's not here, and Gal, that if you get an opportunity, go do one of those tours. And it makes us as council people, getting down in the weeds sometimes helps us to be able to make the decisions from 25,000 feet. So just want to pass that along.
Yeah, and to that end, the wells and that 6 miles, the piping and that whole project hasn't been that many years. What year?
About 6 years ago, 6, 7 years ago.
5 years ago or so. But in recent history, before that, we were getting all our water out of the Mississippi River.
We're glad we don't anymore.
So that's right. So that's good. Great. Thank you, Councilman Bedard. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
as I mentioned in the study session, I was going to point out to the listening public and the people here about Senior Information Day that's the seniors and lawmen together are going to have on Thursday. But I have to say, the spark plug of the organization is here for our invocation today, and I'd like Doug to come up and tell us what's going on Thursday, if he wouldn't mind. I know he's so bashful that he'll
Well, it'll be 6 steps here to figure out what to say. The best way to describe seniors and lawmen together, it's our desire that we bring senior citizens and law enforcement together in a friendly educational atmosphere. We never want senior citizens to think that it's an adversarial relationship. Any question a senior citizen has, call a law enforcement officer. They will consider it an honor. This day is devoted to educating senior citizens. We bring in different providers this year to meet with senior citizens. We'll have over 300 senior citizens there to meet with those folks. We will give them a free lunch, the Eagles' famous fried chicken free lunch. We will do 3 different programs on the detective, Orrin Hawkins from KPD will do a program on the local scams. Brian Henning will do a program that is very popular with our seniors, and it's I Am Smarter Than a Scam Artist. And Cody Winbigler from the Sheriff's Department is doing a 1-hour program on how to act and react in a shooter situation. The scam programs are designed because senior citizens are the most susceptible people for the scams. We always say, why don't you just hang up? Well, because my mom and daddy would turn over in their grave if I got mad and hung up on somebody on the phone. We're not trained that way. That's not our nature. You will never get us to just hang up. So we got to educate senior citizens. That's the whole thrust of this Senior Citizens Day. We're proud of our law enforcement. We'll have the Missouri State Highway Patrol there. Cape PD will be there. Jackson PD will be there. And the Cape County Sheriff's Office will be there. Great day. Anybody looking for a free fried chicken lunch, come by, use my name. And then after they throw you out, come back in, use somebody else's name. We'll give you a free fried chicken lunch.
Give the date and times again.
9 o'clock. Doors open at 9 o'clock Thursday morning.
Okay. At the Eagles?
Now yes, sir, that's at the Eagles. Now, everybody in this room knows that when we say senior citizens, the doors open at 9, that means at 8:30, there'll be 200 people lined up out there, which is good because they're eager to get in and we're eager to be able to help them. Thank you, Victor.
Oh, you did a much
For young, inexperienced kids, you do good work.
Anyone else? Staff?
Thank you, Mayor. Just got a couple of quick items. First item, just real quick, is there is a grant, Ulysses S. Grant Symposium and Exhibition coming September 19th. Won't go through the details, but just put it on your calendar. I know you'll be talking about it prior to at next meeting because it'll be the next day. So there's that. And then wanted to just welcome back our technical rescue team, which was sent to Houston. The fire department, local Cape Girardeau Fire Department, and Jackson Fire and Rescue were deployed to Texas Gulf region to assist in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. It was a 10-man team that consisted of the water rescue technicians and trained rescue boat operators. They went to College Station, Texas, where they were deployed first to Fort Bend County. They went there with some Kansas City and Kansas City County firemen and rescue team. They then went to western Houston, Texas, where they were near the I-10 corridor and the Buffalo Bayou. During their operations, they formed a strike team and was able to search 450 homes, perform rescues on 17 civilians, and 2 pets. They made a difference in those people's lives for the rest of their life. And it was because they volunteered to inconvenience their own families and themselves. And so we just want to welcome them back. We didn't want to make them extend their stay and come tonight. So next meeting they'll be here and you can show your appreciation to them, but certainly we want to welcome them back. And first thing, our folks did when they got back was started getting their equipment ready and cleaned up because they're on call for Hurricane Irma, which they may be called to. So the next days we'll see. And there's still a lot of work down in Houston. They say there's the area they worked in will probably be flooded for the next 20 to 30 days because of the releasing of the dams upstream of them. So getting those people out was just absolutely critical to their life. And so anyway, we just want to salute them, and we're so proud of all that training, all that preparation. Pays off for somebody else this time. That's great. So thanks, Chief, and pass it along to
How
them.
many were on that team?
There was a 10-man team.
10 went? Okay,
So
very good. Well, we'll look forward to recognizing them personally next meeting.
absolutely. That's all I have.
Okay. We have two public hearings tonight. Number one, a public hearing to consider vacating a portion of unimproved Amethyst Street right-of-way between North Middle Street and North Fountain Street in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Public hearing is open. Anyone to appear before the council? Public hearing open. Anyone? Okay. Council, let's go move to item 13. Bill number 17-137, an ordinance vacating a portion of Amethyst Street right-of-way between North Middle Street and North Fountain Street in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. First reading. So moved by Fox.
Second.
Seconded by Azura. Any discussion? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Second public hearing is a public hearing to consider a proposed amendment to Chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinances of the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri regarding shipping containers. Public hearing is open. Anyone to appear before the council? Public hearing is open. Okay, I'll close that public hearing and we'll move to item 14, bill number 17-141, an ordinance amending chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinances of the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri regarding shipping containers.
Mayor, would we make an amendment to Senate? How do we need to do that? Sorry.
Pardon?
How do we need to, if I would want to send that back to planning and zoning?
Well, we need to postpone. We'll need a motion to postpone because we're not together on this yet. We'll postpone the issue and refer it to, back to planning and zoning for their September meeting.
Is there any discussion on,
Need a motion first,
motion? So moved.
okay?
I'll second that.
And seconded by Essner. Now discussion.
I think we've discussed it enough.
Okay? Okay. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and we've been assured it'll be on the September, what, the date, the 8th? 13th, planning and zoning, September 13th, planning and zoning, meeting. Okay, anyone else to appear before the council on any item that is on the agenda?
Yes.
My name is Elliot Williams, and I live on 2351 Woodland Hills Drive. And it's about the Williamsburg subdivision or development road that's wanting to come into Arbor Heights subdivision. And of course, we were here, a week and a half ago. We never had our time to go and meet with anyone. I had an attorney I was supposed to talk with on Wednesday. Of course, I get information right before Labor Day weekend that it's not going back to planning and zoning. That meeting's not going to happen for us to get to go to. We're not going to have time to discuss it with anybody. It's going straight on back here, and we have to see what we can do again here. And anyway, the plat for Arbor Heights says that the drainage basin is for drainage purposes only. It was never intended for a future roadway, much less a residence. It's not right that they're attempting to condemn property in Arbor Heights subdivision and wanted to transfer that property to a different location into Williamsburg subdivision. They wanted to change the use and covenants restrictions of a piece of property in Arbor Heights to the use covenants and restrictions proposed for Williamsburg. And all this could possibly create a public hazard with the drainage issues, as well as the additional traffic. And there's just other places to put these entrances. The original one was up for another one on Perryville. There's, you know, they have the one there. Right next to that is that driveway that goes to that old house. That's a good flat area again for another road to come out. And I don't know if y'all ever got to look at that lot on Bernice. It's flat, perfect. I don't understand why a road can't go through there. And again, the Arbor Heights subdivision restrictions, it says, is the intention of stage development that all of Arbor Heights subdivision shall be subject to the restrictions which are hereinafter set out, that all said lots, when sold, shall be sold subject to said restrictions, which shall run with the land and shall be binding upon every owner of lots in said subdivision. And then also the setbacks, no building shall be located on any lot nearer than 30 feet to the front line. My road, my house, my lot will now have 2 front lines. And I just don't see how my house is going to be 30 feet from this road. And somebody really needs to answer this question for me tonight. How far away is this new road going to be from my house? My house is 10 feet. The east side of my house is 10 feet from the property line on the east side. Of course, like I said, I was led to believe it needs to be 30 feet from the roadway. And I just don't see my house being 30 feet from that roadway. There's a proposed lot behind my house. And with that lot comes a little piece of land all the way to Woodland Hills Drive, right between me and the road. That gives that house behind me all of the road frontage. Of course, his house is going to be 30 feet from the road. I'm not sure if mine is, but I don't have the road frontage. I still think I'm closer to the road than he is. They're the new home behind me. And I don't know if that's some little loophole that's going through planning and zoning where I'm not on the road frontage, so I don't count. But that needs to be addressed. And can anybody tell me how far away it is from my house?
I can't answer that specific question, but
so then I should have.
I remember it being here last time, and we have it again on our agenda this evening. What's happened since last time is that the developer did not view.
No.
But he has removed, as I understand, all the variances and is in compliance. And that, what has happened over the last, this last week from last meeting to this meeting, takes it out of our hands.
But nobody can answer this question for me.
Again, no, just let me finish. It takes us out of our hands, and we have to approve that tonight as a council. We have no other opportunity. As it's presented with variances removed, it becomes an administrative function of staff, not a council decision.
There's no
Now,
way
we'll get that answer for you. I don't know whether we have it this evening or not, but we'll get that answer for you. But with this, item 12 on the agenda tonight will be approved by council.
So there's absolutely no way to not vote on this tonight.
We will vote on it. We will approve it.
Then this is going to cost me more money to fight this. If my house is not within that 30 feet.
And I can't answer that for you. We'll have to get staff to answer that for you.
Well, the staff review just says that it meets all development code requirements. So I don't know about the 30 feet, whether that's an actual requirement of the development code. But if it is, it's being met because
it is for our subdivision.
They have.
I don't know
And
how they can.
We may have the engineer that might be able to answer that next. So,
The engineer is here and does.
and
demonstrate that
and if he would,
compliance, you can access the 30 feet from the road.
You might come forward and thank you anyway. Very good. But I just have to tell you that this is not our decision anymore. It's an administrative decision.
Why were we not given our chance? Like y'all said, we were going to be given our chance to discuss.
We were, I
planning and zoning.
thought the developer would talk about, when he removed those variances, it became a moot point.
It was the developer's decision to remove the variances and not talk.
And not, yeah,
Period.
exactly.
Well, he's going to have to talk to me eventually.
Anyone else come before? Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get emotional over this. We lived in the Hillcrest subdivision outside of city limits. Everybody knows how horrible the water situation was. We were railroaded. They came in, they took over. They ruined our property values. We were lucky enough to get out. We thought we're gonna move to the city limits. This won't happen here. And here it is happening. We haven't even lived in our house a year and it's happening all over again. It's like a nightmare. So my husband could not be here. He's out of town for work. He wants to know if that section that they're wanting to put a road on top of them and a house on top of us, is that section going to be compliant with the covenants for Arbor Heights, or is it going to be the covenants for Williamsburg? Because in the covenants, it states that if any plot of land is sold, it has to be for a residence. Unless I misread that in there. That's how we were understanding that. And now we're finding out that this drainage system is now going to be sold and all this is going to happen. And we just feel like we had absolutely no say. We did not know it was happening until it was already done. And it just feels like we're in this nightmare all over again that we thought we were escaping and that we would be safe under the city because we would have options. And there's no options. There was no notification. It's just another railroad all over again.
And I understand your concern. I understand it totally. The developers understood, as elected to do it this way, remove the variances. It is compliant per all code of ordinances and standards of the city. And we have to approve it.
So maybe in the future, that's something you guys might want to look into changing.
Okay, thank you.
What are these, I'm Laura Pingle. We live just a couple houses up in the same neighborhood. What are these variances? Can you elaborate a little more on what these are?
Lot size and property line for the lots.
Setbacks.
So how are those satisfied?
He removed them. He removed them.
So they reconfigured the lots so that they didn't need those.
They didn't need a variance.
Setbacks anymore.
Okay. I do have a question about the drainage basin that's there currently. Is that not city property?
No.
No? Are other drainage basins throughout the city not owned by the city?
Some are,
Some are and some aren't.
Okay.
Right.
It's city maintained, correct?
Some are and some aren't.
Okay, well, this one is. So my question would be, if this is a city maintained drainage basin, which we have been told was also owned by the city, then how is it then sold to the developer?
Because the city didn't own it. The city may have maintained it.
Do we know that?
Yeah, we know that for sure.
Okay.
So the city never told you that they owned it. And we can't prohibit a sale of it when we're not the owners.
Okay, and when did the ownership take place? Has this?
That's not a city administrative function.
Okay.
So that's a county function.
Okay. So another question that I have is, whenever we bought our house and the other individuals here, we were told and saw plans that this was not going to be a roadway going through this section, that there was going to be a different outlet. So what is the process for changing that and not notifying, discussing any type of opportunity to the residents in that subdivision?
So the discussion takes place when there's a special use, when there's a rezoning. Neither of those took place. What would other What would other items be that would require public hearing?
Annexation, rezoning, special use permit are those types of approvals that would require a public hearing process. Subdivisions do not require a public hearing process.
We had a public hearing tonight, but the, did not require, what happened here in the plan and the development did not require a public hearing.
We're
By code.
notifying residents in that area whatsoever.
You know, as far as a developer talking to neighbors, I very much encourage all developers in town to visit with neighbors that might be affected. If that doesn't happen, that's a personal decision that a developer can make, as long as he meets the city codes, ordinances, and moves ahead with the subdivision.
For that matter, any piece of wooded property in the city limits of Cape Girardeau that would be zoned, say in R1, like your all's property, could theoretically be turned into a subdivision without modification of any of the neighborhood neighbors around there.
Or into a street.
Or into
a street,
And so
sure.
the problem is when they meet the development code, state law says that we have to allow them to do it. We can't prohibit them from putting a street in there.
And the idea being that people could purchase land as have property, they have property rights, and as long as you follow the zoning and the codes, then there's an expectation that you'd be able to develop it unencumbered. But if you ask for a variance, if you ask for a change of zoning, then there is an expectation. So developers know that, and but that's the expectation of that personal property rights that is believed in. So.
It's unfortunate.
It is.
And I would like for you all to think about where you live. If something like this were to happen and you weren't notified whatsoever, you bought a piece of land thinking that that would be how everything was situated, and then they completely change. I think that you would also feel the same way, especially since some of us on the street have special needs children who will be playing in the roads and now not able to be outdoors, and other individuals that really are going to be affected by
And
this.
we've had this, we've been through this with this council myself before on issues. But if there's adjoining property you don't own, it can be developed. And it can meet code, and unless there's what was in it before, variances that gave us some authority, now that's gone, and we must have to approve it. I understand what you're saying and what you're saying too. So that.
Hello, I'm Carrie Williams, wife of Elliot, and I don't really have a whole lot else to add other than, we're not a big developer. We're just average, ordinary people that want what is right, and we don't feel like we've been done right. We were told we had time to meet with the developer, and we just need some time. And as it was mentioned at the beginning, you all are our voices, and we're the small people. We're not big. We need your help. We need time, and that's all we're asking. We're not asking for you not to approve it. We're just asking for time like we were told we were going to have. That's all we're asking for.
And that's what we thought we gave last time when we moved it to this time, that we could come to a resolution with the developer.
Well, the problem
And
is,
it didn't happen, and that is his choice. He doesn't have to, as long as he meets codes and regulations. And then when he removed the variances, it became a moot point.
he's
Not that I don't
apparently
understand.
tied up with every attorney in Cape Girardeau County he's a client of. So that put us at having to go out of town to find an attorney that would take the case. And I'm not kidding. Every single attorney we have talked to, Brandon Williams is a client of. So, real estate attorney that
Okay,
we've talked
thank you.
to. We just need time.
Anyone else?
Like I said, we were hoping that after last time that
the developer would meet with you and talk about problems and talk about issues, and that's up to him. It's not up to you all. I know you all want to meet, but if he doesn't want to, we can't require it.
Again, not up to us.
It's not up to us.
Not that we didn't
State law
ask.
says we
Not
have
that we
to
didn't ask.
abide by it. We have to abide by it.
We ask, and we're told no. Okay. Sure.
I'm Jim McGowan. Can you hear me?
Sure.
Sorry.
Not a problem.
I live at 2345 Woodland Hills Drive. I can't add anything to what these people have said. I do appreciate you thinking that we could work out a solution, because I'm fairly sure that the first plat with the road going out on, both going out into Perryville, is going to be way more expensive than what it is to cut in where we're at. And now he's not legally bound to what he told planning and zoning to begin with. And I know the position that you can be in, but if I was a developer, I don't know, or as a human being or whatever, I'm not sure whether I want to know on my headstone whether I'm legal or ethical. And thank you very much for listening to me.
I will tell you all, look you in the face and say, I empathize with you. I understand you. And anyone that knows myself personally, or people on this council, we strive desperately for open communication among citizens, developers, interaction with staff, interaction with planning and zoning. Communication is very important to it, and it personally hurts that we can't have communication, but that's been the choice, and it is what it is. And with the removal of the variances, as we go through this item, no matter how any of our personal feelings are, we will approve this tonight. But I thank you for being here, and wish you all the best. Anyone else?
Does the city attorney have anything you'd like to add to that?
Molly, do you or Alex have anything that we've missed, or would you like to add or correct?
No, and I think staff is also empathetic to the residents' plight here. Staff does try to encourage communication, but subdivision plats are administrative approvals, and if they do comply with the development codes, the council is legally obligated to approve them. So.
Thank you. I called the developer and talked to him personally and asked him to meet with you.
Could we get someone to stake out what's going to happen there so we can see how much vision?
Staff would be happy to sit down with the residents and go over the plat and show you exactly what it will look like. We can sit down and go over the plans with you. I don't know that we can go out and stake the property, but we'd be happy to go out there and walk it off with you. Mm-hmm.
But the plans and the footages and those things, be glad to.
Sure.
I will tell you, staff's very open to the public and to react to requests of public that they legally can do.
I'll ask an engineer, do you all plan to stake anything out in the near future, or?
I don't know how soon we'll be.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wondered if you were going to be going out there in the next week or so to put something out, we could let everybody know, but if not, we understand. But staff will sit down with you and try to show you, at least with an aerial photograph, what it looks like. And if that doesn't do it, then we can walk out and walk it with you a little bit.
Okay, Eric, the consent agenda. Okay, sure.
My name is Jason, I think, 2344 Drive. Same concerns, I don't know that I have much to add, but Mr. Gore was kind enough to find a way to push this the last time. I know that it's now administrative deal that you have to put on tonight. But they have contacted, like I said, every attorney in town. You all know more about the ins and outs of what's possible. If there's anything that can be done to allow time for the neighbors to consult with what you talked about, a reasonable expectation of the investors, they'll do what they need to with the property. I'm assuming there's also reasonable expectation on the property owners that, that this wasn't going to be, this development was going to settle. Is there, knowing what you all know, if there's any way of possibly postponing this in order to allow time for the homeowners here that are expressing interest to at least speak with council.
No offense, but the problem is that our leverage was those variances.
Yeah.
So
When we had the variant, go ahead.
our vote, in all reality, doesn't even matter because it could be overturned by lawsuit because state law says we have to now approve it. So when the mayor says we will vote on it and it will be approved, it's because there are no other remedies. So 2 weeks ago, I asked that we delay it to give that opportunity. Unfortunately, it's passed. And that length of time isn't up to us. When it was resubmitted without variances, then we are bound to approve it. So it's unfortunate.
This time is
Legal.
Yes,
Right.
would be civil court.
Yep.
And,
sure.
And we don't like that any more than you do. I hope you understand that, we're now in a position where we have no other options. There aren't other options.
As the city, you would think that you could in some way suggest.
No.
or work
No.
options with.
We can suggest. We have no legal authority to do that. And with it being now on the agenda tonight, it will be passed. And I go back to what I said about communication and empathy and et cetera. We sit in a difficult chair up here sometimes.
And I think one thing that's important to point out, Mayor, is that, I know we've said it, but to reiterate that the council is legally obligated per state statute to approve the plat, and not doing so would put the city at risk and make us liable from a lawsuit from the developer standpoint. So that's, something that we have to weigh as well.
That this was only supposed to be used as a drainage system.
Okay, we've had enough communication back and forth. Staff would be open to visit with you on any particulars as far as the subdivision, and I would encourage you to voice those concerns, and not concerns, but get some more information from them. But I think we've had enough conversation on this issue tonight because there's nothing else that can or should be said, and we need to move forward. Consent agenda, Eric.
Bill number 17-130, an ordinance amending ordinance number 4318, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $31 million principal amount of sewerage system revenue bonds, State of Missouri Direct Loan Program, Series 2012 of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and ordinance amending ordinance number 4318, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $31 million principal amount of sewerage system revenue bonds, State of Missouri Direct Loan Program, Series 2012 of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Number 17-131, an ordinance amending ordinance number 4461, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $3.25 million principal amount of sewerage system revenue bonds, State of Missouri Direct Loan Program, Series 2013A, and not to exceed $35.75 million principal amount of sewerage system revenue bonds, State of Missouri Direct Loan Program, Series 2013B of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and ordinance amending ordinance number 4461, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $3.25 million principal amount of sewerage system revenue bonds, State of Missouri Direct Loan Program, Series 2013A, and not to exceed $35.75 million principal amount of sewerage system revenue bonds, State of Missouri Direct Loan Program, Series 2013B of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Number 17-134, an ordinance accepting a permanent utility easement from Limbaugh Revocable Trust under agreement dated August 20, 2014, located adjacent to 100 Broadway in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. An ordinance accepting a permanent utility easement from Limbaugh Revocable Trust under agreement dated August 20, 2014, located adjacent to 100 Broadway in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Number 17-135, an ordinance vacating a 10 feet wide utility easement along the north side of Broadway located adjacent to 400 Broadway in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. An ordinance vacating a 10 feet wide utility easement along the north side of Broadway located adjacent to 400 Broadway in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Number 17-136, resolution authorizing city manager to execute a license and indemnity agreement with Old Town Cape Inc. for improvements in the alley between 115 North Main Street and 117 North Main Street in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Number 17-138, a resolution authorizing applications to the Missouri Housing Development Commission under the 2018 Emergency Solutions Grant Program for the Salvation Army, Safe House for Women, Inc., Community Caring Council, and Catholic Charities of Southern Missouri, and authorizing city manager to execute all necessary grant documents. Number 17-139, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a release of lien for property located at 1032 Caulfield Drive under the Federal Home Loan Bank Grant Program in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Number 17-140, a resolution authorizing city manager to execute a license and indemnity agreement with Jerry B. Stone Revocable Trust Agreement and the Carol L. Stone Revocable Trust Agreement to install a sanitary sewer lateral line in Maria Louise Lane right-of-way in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Council, you've heard the consent agenda. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
So moved by Guard, seconded by Fox. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Now the number 12, the approval of the amended preliminary plat of Williamsburg.
So moved.
So moved by Azura,
Second that.
seconded by Estner. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We have covered the two new ordinances. As discussed in our study session, the appointment of city council committee and board positions, I'd like the council to consider the appointment of Councilman Robbie Guard to our Bagnett Board of Directors and the appointment of Danny Essner as a Parks Liaison with our Parks and Rec Department with specific direction to lead the group and committee in our PRS2 effort that will come before the citizens in April of 2018.
Move to appoint.
Move to appoint from Gunn, seconded by Fox. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any other business come before us?
Don't forget tomorrow.
The
Yeah,
special planning
yeah,
session
right.
tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
3 to 5 at Osage for our PRS. Should have mentioned that in the study session too. 3 to 5 tomorrow at Osage for our PRS, important PRS study session. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
By Guard and seconded by Gunn. Those in favor, aye. Those opposed? We are adjourned.
Are you behaving yourself? Best you can. Let's feel it. Sound like it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I know you dealt with it. Probably everybody in this room has dealt with it. God bless you, young man.